Tell me how you became a fan of
I
this record.
I think like that album came out in like 83 or
This
84.
is
It's like
80. This is 87. This is the compilation
okay,
subsequence. Yeah.
okay. Uh, so I had 6. So that really wasn't like it's certainly not a current. Like I didn't take it in the time it was hot. I
For
get
sure.
like yeah.
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
So I guess like my first absorber is like I would always hear like dun 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 dun. You hear that and it's just like oh my foot is going
Yeah.
and I kind of would just absorb it in the ambient
Mm-hmm.
and then like it's so weird. So you get into it, you're like, well, fucking why? Because I think for New Order, a lot of people my age or younger were kind of like, well, I know I'm supposed to like them because they were like a cool band before I got into music. I think, and then so I got into them much later is the point I was getting to, and I
Sure. No, no.
really yeah. So like, and I really kind of fell in love with them. It's so weird that I'm doing this in New Orleans, like I'm taping from New Orleans right now, because when I did my half hour, I was always running around the lake, not Pontchartrain, like a much smaller one. Uh, and what if I just doing laps around Pontchartrain, just running, hopping over alligators and
I didn't
shit?
know you were a long distance runner, Shaney.
Yeah, I don't.
I mean,
You really. I'm full of surprises.
I'm
Yeah,
half Nigerian,
yeah.
and
Who
my
would have thought
father.
after JFL I would have got a half hour?
Yeah,
So like, I really
no.
keep surprising
Oh, I
folks.
can't wait to dig into that.
Yeah,
Tell me about New Order.
but I don't think it's on this comp, but Ceremony, you know that song?
It is. No, it's on
Yeah,
here.
it is.
Yeah.
Yeah, yeah. That I don't know for whatever reason it's the perfect time of year in New Orleans when you tape. So I think it's like October or something is when we take. So I'd just be looping around, and that song was just kind of always in my play for whatever reason. And then I fell in love with them, and I just kind of like moved more and more in that direction. So I've only really been a fan for 3 or 4 years, like where I would actually like put them on. And
So that's go ahead, keep going.
yeah.
Whatever you're saying.
So then I was just like, so I remember it came to me in this very emotional moment because like when you're taping something like a half hour, you're getting your first TV thing or whatever. You're always like, as a comic, you're trying to dig in and put yourself in the zone and not fuck it up. And they have the kind of music that sounds like it could score any movie. So
Yes.
in my head it was just like I was zoning in this direction with this song.
No,
And then
I
and
completely.
then you're like, oh yeah, that's a New Order song too, and that's a New Order song too. And you're like, and by the end of it, you're like, Jesus fucking Christ, how come nobody talks about these guys as much as they do? Yeah,
I can't agree with you more. When I got ready to do my first TV taping to pump me up, I listened to Rocket.
what was that?
That
USA
was,
Power Hour?
no,
Or
it
what?
was, no, it was Stand Up and Deliver on Nouveau TV, and then I did like 8 TV tapings on CISO, and now that's
Yeah.
defunct.
Hi,
No,
buddy. I had a show on Quibi that never took off.
oh, those bastards! Now it's on Roku though, so
it never came out, so
Oh.
it's not on the Roku library. Will
Will
Smith did it to me again.
Oh, but shout out to
We'll do Big
Melissa-
Willie style the next time I'm on.
Yeah, but we
Yeah.
shout out to Melissa Chusid, who's our booker, who's a fan of
Yeah.
you, and
She's-
actually
yeah.
works for the big homie, Big Willie style. But
Oh, really?
oh yeah, so I
Yeah.
so I listened.
That was a cool experience.
Oh, I mean, how could it not be? It's Will
Yeah.
Smith. You know, he seems like the nicest guy in the
You
world.
dude, I would say like out of all the famous celebrities I've met between bands and like actors, he was the most present I've ever seen
Really?
someone be with a normal person. Like, because we taped for 3 days, and I'd just be like hanging out, and he'd just be like, "Hey, what's up, Shane? How are you?" You know, like remember nobody was like, "His name's Shane."
Yeah, he just
Yeah,
knew it.
like yeah.
That's probably why he's a huge star, because
Yeah,
he's so
for sure.
nice to everybody, and
Yeah.
you can't look at his career and be like, oh, even when the guys kissed him. Do you remember that? Like he was in Europe and some
yeah.
French guy tried to kiss him, and
Yeah.
he doesn't like smack him or do anything. He's just like,
Yeah.
hey man, hey.
Yeah, which is kind of an amazing way to be, because I'd be like, I'm not sure what kind of feelings are bubbling up in me now.
You'd be like,
Maybe
"All right,
this guy knows something I don't.
Deep tongue. Let's do
Yeah.
deep tongue. No, so I got ready for Bill Burr Presents. I listened to Rocket by by Def Leppard. It really just for some reason just made me very confident. And then Shane, you'll appreciate this because I recently just got passed at the Comedy Cellar. I wasn't
Congrats, buddy.
Thank you. I wasn't very happy with my first set at McDougal. I didn't realize how small the room was and all the
I mean it's a box. It's
And I came out hot, dude. I came out really hot. I didn't do bad, but I just wasn't my favorite, not what I expect out of myself. So when I went back to do it again, prepping it to get rid of all my nerves, I listened to Forever in Blue Jeans by Neil Diamond. Yeah. And I mean it made me so peaceful and it just it just gets you out of your head.
Well, the approach you can have to your especially in New York, you're just like walking through the city, Washington Square Park or whatever, and you're like on your way to the store and you're like got your headphones and you're like, oh, I fucking did something. Like I accomplished a real goal. Yeah. This is a place people are. And then, like, what's my soundtrack going to be? And then you just throw on your random, and it's like, I'll tell you what I want, what I really... Yeah.
No, I can't tell you more than anything I love about living here right now, because I moved, right?
I heard they were saying, where are you at?
I'm Upper East Side. The very...
look
I love
at
it.
you.
Quiet, I know.
Look at you.
I'm right...
You're there for 20 minutes and you're on top. I'm up there hanging out with Bob De Niro and everybody else.
I call him Bobby D. And then
I bet you don't even sound like this when you talk now. Like I bet this is just for the podcast.
Dude, we're having a street festival this Saturday, and I'm gonna eat at the Second Avenue Deli. It's
gonna be very nice for you, Josh.
But this record, much like your experience, it really has been great music to listen to on the subway, on the walks. And it's great. You couldn't have said it better. It's great soundtrack music. Yeah. And it's whatever you want it to be, because whether it's Blue Monday or True Faith, or even what's the song, Morty, that I told you I really like that's right after True Faith?
Temptation?
No.
It's the B-side. You like a B-side. It's not on the record.
In a Lonely Place.
In a Lonely Place.
In a Lonely Place. It's got every different style. It's dance, it's trip hop, it's emo, it's very emotional.
It's also like the kind of title you scroll through and you're like looking for something to listen to depending on whatever mood you're on, and you're just like, yes. Based on title alone.
Yes.
It's like a bumper sticker on someone's car you're reading the whole time you're driving behind. It's the same effect. You just get into it. Yeah.
I dig this record. I'm really glad it came up after The Doors, because for me it was a really nice palate cleanser, and it's also a nice bridge between the next record, which is Siamese Dream Smashing Pumpkins, which I'm excited about. But this one is much like you. I didn't get into New Order till later in life. Now, there's a few songs on it that I really did.
Everybody knows the hits.
Yes.
Yeah, they are because, Blue Monday, I was reading about it. It actually came out before the original, before the comp, right? Like, it's the best selling release single of all time.
Yeah, this is a compilation of all their 12 inches. So this is essentially just a collection of their singles.
Yeah.
Well, why don't we just do the intro now, so we can at least catch us up, and we'll get into some of these songs we're already starting to talk about. So Morty, because all I know about New Order, and I know I'm gonna be repeating it, but I gotta say it before you say it, because I gotta show everybody that I do know something. Is that this came from Joy Division?
Yeah.
The dude killed himself, and they made a movie by Antoine Corbin. I didn't know if I said his name right.
You said it right this time. I like that.
Fuck you. Boy. No, I didn't. No, I didn't.
He's been hanging out with these grannies on the Upper East Side.
You can listen, Shane. I've been doing this podcast for almost 3 years, and I can't tell you how many times I have fucked up names. So when I get one right, dude, why is there a J in it? He doesn't need to have it
because he's not from America.
Oh, okay. Well, I'm glad he's here because he's a good dude. All right, tell us a little bit about this band, okay, Morty?
Okay, this is released on August 17th, 1987 on Factory Records. It's the multi-produced compilation album by the Salford, Manchester, England post-punk, dance pop, synth pop, alternative rock group. Childhood friends Bernard Sumner and Peter Hook, who I'm going to be referring to.
Can I cut you off right there? That's the most British sounding last name of all time. Sumner. Sumner is like isn't that like Sting's last name?
It is. Gordon Sumner. Yeah.
Told you. I knew it.
So Peter Hook, who we will be referring to often as Hooky, because that's just a really bitchin' nickname.
That's
so
good.
And they call him that. So that I'm not just being facetious.
It's also what they call prostitutes in certain parts of the country.
Yeah, allegedly.
Sumner, do you want to get a hooky tonight?
Yeah. I was gonna riff, but anyway, yeah. So they were separately at the sparsely attended, infamous June 4th, 1976 Sex Pistols gig at Manchester's Lesser Free Trade Hall that instantly spawned the British punk and post-punk movements. Other people that were there, by the way, were like Morrissey and the Martin Hannett who produced these things, and like Mick Hucknall from Simply Red, and the guys from the Buzzcocks.
Oh wow!
Like every there were like.
So this is very seminal in a movie.
Yeah, there were like 40 people there, and almost everybody there went off and started.
God, that's like the coolest room ever. I bet that's the most unfun group of people to talk to. Like, it's just like...
That or like the early Jimi Hendrix in London performances, probably, because you just got all these like huge rock stars all trying to out-cool each other.
Yeah,
and there's a guy on stage that's cooler than all of them.
It's like it's 110 degrees in this club and everybody has leather on. You're like, what a bunch of assholes.
Well, that was the cool thing about this is none of those.
Hold on, wait, I gotta do this rap. Like somebody's like, "Is that my boa or yours?" Oh, that's mine. Okay.
Sure, David.
Yeah. So, but with this one, it was crazy because the people. First of all, we're in Manchester, so Northern England. It's not the Sex Pistols. They're really nothing at this point. They're not even dressing like the Sex Pistols. They have Glenn Matlock on. Anyway, so all these people in the audience, they lose their minds. So Bernard and Peter are like, we got to start a band. Like they don't even have instruments at this point. They just lead the Sex Pistols thing going. Fuck it. Bernard picks up the guitar. Peter Hooky gets the bass. And they put this band together. Vocalist Ian Curtis responds to an ad. He's quickly hired. And after playing with some other drummers for a little while, they put another ad up and they get Stephen Morris as their permanent one. So the band goes through several name changes, first settling on Warsaw, named after David Bowie's song with Brian Eno, Warsawa, and then Joy Division, which you guys will have fun with, is named for the forced Jewish female prostitution barracks in Nazi concentration camps during World War II.
Hold the fuck.
Yes.
Also, real quick, I love that they're like, we're going to start a band. We don't even have instruments. And they're like, we're going to make some drummer changes. Like, what a bunch of assholes. Like, no, we got it. We got it.
Dude, we got it. I
mean,
either
those drummers were the worst ever, or these guys were like, we have a very direct... when you meet a comic who does their first set, you're like, oh, you know exactly what you want to do.
Yeah.
They were like, this is the direction we're going, and you are not fucking it.
Oh, yeah.
I'm still tripping over the fact that Joy Division is about prostitutes and what did you say?
We're using prostitute. Let's use prostitute very lightly. They were slaves. They were sex slaves, Jewish sex slaves.
Okay, thank you for killing the mood,
Nazi.
Morty. We were having a good riff, and then you brought up Auschwitz.
You can still call them hookies.
If I'm going to get canceled on a podcast, it's not going to be this one.
Yeah. So back to this. Although they never overtly aligned themselves with the recent punk rock scene's appropriation of swastikas and other shocking Nazi imagery and the rise of a far-right neo-Nazi movement, there was still some ambiguity on where their sympathies laid by some other people. But because it's sort of the way they are, it egged them on. So they didn't really stop anybody. But they never said, yeah, we're fascists. So they weren't overtly they didn't wear like swastikas or anything like a lot of the other punkers for like shock value. So so the sound is they got this punk. Sorry, go on.
No, I was going on about the fashion. It's a different subject. Let's stay on point.
Yeah. So they have this punk energy. Hook's driving and melodic. Basically, he's playing lead bass. For all their stuff. Sumner's playing really sparse guitar stuff. Morris is almost a timid drummer. He's almost led by the band. Like he's not like a John Bonham just attacking. And then Curtis has these sorrowful and dark lyrics that sometimes are really difficult to hear. And he's singing in this low baritone that seems to cross Jim Morrison and like Berlin era David Bowie. And that's the direction that they sounded. And then producer Martin Hannett, who was also at that gig, he has this unique production of the way he separates them and everything. And then they're putting out singles. They do an EP. They do an album with this intriguing sound. They're rapidly building a cult following. But then things start getting really dark. Now, on top of a crumbling marriage and an affair, Ian's now dealing with chronic health problems, including depression, and he recently discovers he's epileptic. So, so they're doing these long sleepless, it's musicians' hours. They're staying up, and it starts exacerbating.
And it's road to road kind of.
Yeah, and it's exacerbating and destabilizing his condition. He starts having seizures on stage. He starts having grand mal seizures on stage, and audience members now aren't sure if that's part of his act Or if
Yeah, it's not like that.
thing.
It's not like when Lisa sprained her ankle on Saved by the Bell and everybody started doing the Lisa dance.
Yeah, exactly.
It's not quite.
No.
It's not. It's not quite. Not quite as sunny.
This is full
Thank you for that riff. Thank you for that riff. That
full
was a goodie.
screech.
Yeah.
He's so excited. He's so excited. Yeah. So he's
R.I.P. Dustin.
And on top of this, he starts having shame at the fact that he's having these seizures and people are watching it. So he attempts suicide.
That would be difficult.
Yeah.
That'd be like so. Yeah.
No, I'm sorry. Go, please.
Well, I just think like the value of being this rock god for a second, everybody wishing they could be you, and then to like instantly collapse and have no control of like not knowing whatever is going on. You know what I mean? Like like the valley of that and the peak of that is like seems horrifying to me. Like, cause you know when you do anything in your career and it goes well, and you like TV or something, you're like, I'm on a high. Yeah. And then the next day you're like, I guess I'll just go get my spicy chicken sandwich.
Exactly.
Like,
the highs and lows of being in the entertainment industry. I mean, the crashes are fucking low because the highs are so high. But you know, that's
my highs have been fairly moderate.
You've had high highs. We're gonna talk about them.
Yeah.
Where we at, Morty?
Ironically, the movie about it's called Control because there's another song, and so with this loss, he attempts suicide in April of 1980. I think he tries to OD. He misses some of the shows, and then a month later, the band is right about to go to the Tour Americas for the first time, and the night before, he hangs himself. So that's like basically the end of it. Their most famous single, and most people know, is "Love Will Tear Us Apart." That comes out shortly after he dies, followed by their second and final album, Closer. The band is shattered, but committed to moving forward with their career. However, they honored the commitment they all made with Ian that if any member left the band, they would retire the name and the songs. So they're trying to come up with new names, and they want to avoid the previous controversy that we talked about. So they end up using a shortened version of a recent headline, The People's New Order of Kampuchea, which is Cambodia, the area of Cambodia. And then they shorten that to just New Order before realizing that, you know, Adolf Hitler also used New Order in Mein Kampf. So they weren't too far away from staying with that.
Jewish hookers.
Back to that. Yeah,
now
they don't even have the hookers.
Slaves, I mean.
Now imagine taking your thing and going, let's get rid of the hookers and keep going. Yeah, so they took the sex part out of it. So after a short stint as a three-piece, with Sumner basically is the only guy who ends up singing because he's the only one that can kind of do it while he's playing the sparse guitar part. Everyone else is a little too into their instrument. They add drummer Stephen Morris's girlfriend and then soon to be wife Jillian Gilbert. Right? Yeah, she becomes keyboard. She plays keyboard, guitar, sequencing, programming. I mean, she really does all of she really does all of it. And she
kind of made the band fuller.
Oh yeah, she'd already filled in for both Ian and Bernard at some of the shows. Yeah. So they knew that she was already in the fold. Yeah. So it wasn't really that, and you know, she ends up being the drummer's wife. So it's kind of like a Talking Heads thing. Sure. So they start their new career. So they're once again using Martin Hannett again, but they're writing all these new songs and they're developing different tastes and skills that evolve out of that sound that Joy Division had near the end. So they're also influenced by this New York electro and freestyle sounds that are coming out of there in the early 80s. And they're the first ones. They're one of the first artists to really make multiple mixes available while they're putting out the original mix. So they put out a single and it's got like 3 other mixes on it, which now is just Christina Aguilera puts out a song and it's got 5 remixes, or Pharrell has a remix of it. So they're one of the first ones to really start doing this. And they're one of the only rock bands that is now being pumped onto dance floors. You have to think of this era as like, this is like 1980,
warehouse dancing,
82. Yeah. And there's Hacienda, in Manchester.
It's Pet Shop Boys and shit like that. Yeah.
Yeah. This is even before that, traditionally, where you would go to a club and, a back up against, freestyle, upbeat sort of this music that, that we know now of like Shannon, let the music play, like that kind of like heavy duty, big beat stuff is this, New Order song. So they start evolving. And then they gain fame also. There's a lot of fame for the striking and the elaborate single and album covers that are designed by Factory Records in-house art director and co-founder Peter Seville. And they often cost more than the recordings that are on the records just to make these to make these covers. So they release 4 studio albums. And then this compilation comes out, which has all their 12-inch singles, B-sides, as well as a couple re-recordings and a brand new song. It's so popular that the following year, Factory Records puts out a similar compilation from Joy Division with the imaginative title Substance. So that's why I call this Substance 87, also because it's written on the title. On the cover of the album it says, 87. So for clarity, I don't know why they did that, went back and called it Substance. So they do 5 more studio albums following this. The band goes through a few hiatuses. They do slight lineup changes. There's lots of animosity between Hookie and Sumner, especially in the press. Hookie quits in 2007. Sumner and the band decide to keep going without him in 2011. And I think their career's bottom line by Hookie, he wrote in one of his books, "You're very lucky in a group to change the world culturally and musically once. We were very, very lucky to manage to do it twice." So you can hear their stuff. You can hear it in the Killers, LCD Sound System, which
I can definitely hear all the influences.
Arcade Fire,
yeah. It's like I wonder, like, if the remixing stuff was just a habit of, like, a byproduct of, or the mixes being a byproduct of how they just created in general.
They were, yeah. Like, we'll get into real technique, it feels like stuff, yeah. I know what I'm saying.
Yeah. So like, but like what I'm saying is, like, so they're like, do you think they boiled out 5 versions of a song or whatever? I think, and we're just like, and they were like, all of these are good, but this is the best one, so this is the one that goes.
Oh,
we're going to release as the single.
Here's the interesting thing. They didn't know. There's a lot of stuff on this record in particular. This is why this compilation gets a little murky. They would put out a song and then they would do an edited version, and then they would do a version that was like only edited by like 40 seconds, and then they would do a different one, and they do a little bit of a different remix. So even this record itself, even us sitting here, we might be like, oh, I love whatever. It's like when people play Blue Monday, they're playing this version. But there's a version prior to this, when they listen to it, people go, I don't like this one. This doesn't have the big boom, boom, So
they're the original P. Diddy's.
Well, I would say, by the way, speaking of the sort of rap influence, which
P. Diddy's was also another name for the Joy Division.
It was. They were just the blonde Jewish women were called the P. Diddy's. So there's, by the way, I would suggest not listening to Black Eyed Peas do Bizarre Love Triangle as much as Beps have done some cute stuff. It's not. I wouldn't.
No, but listen to the Frente version of it, which is an acoustic version by this Australian singer-songwriter. That is what got me into that song. Frente. I asked you to get it. Do you have it in the music? It says
you can look it up.
Our Love Triangle. Just look it up and get it ready for when we do the actual track, because
Nouvelle Vague does a great cover of their stuff.
I don't care about them. I care about Frente, because Courtney Miles stole the CD from me when I had him do the, it was like 25 cents and you get like 30 albums from Columbia.
Oh yeah.
Columbia House.
The biggest scam of all time, because
that ruined a lot of 14-year-olds credit.
Yeah. But I remember we did it under his name or whatever, but I picked out the records, whatever it was, and he was like, no, they never came. And then I looked in his CD collection and I saw Frente, and I was like, you motherfucker, you took my Frente. And he gave it back. He gave it back begrudgingly. All right, what else you got?
I took a girl's Frente in high school. It was that's it, and we'll get into a little more process. So just to let everybody know, we talked about last show, we're chopping down the list because we end up getting caught up, and then we have to skip ones we'd rather not. So we're going to hit the main ones everybody knows, and then we'll pull a few deep cuts that Josh and I agreed on to make sure that we hit stuff so we're not just surface people. But Josh will go through it, and that's all I got.
All right. How many records have they sold? You don't have that?
I didn't know. I mean, I will get into some of the other stuff. Obviously they're one of those bands that their original records weren't as huge. This is a compilation, as we said. So their original records weren't like 80 million records of blah, blah, blah. But as we said, there's some high points in their careers that we'll hit on.
Okay.
So I do know that at the time of Blue Monday's release, it was the greatest selling 12-inch single of all time.
Yeah.
Still is.
Greatest selling. Yeah. But that's 3 million. I mean, at one point, 3 million of a 12-inch single, which is helped by the fact that they didn't put out a 7-inch. Of it, which is the normal for guys. There's a 45 that most people remember when they were kids of the single, and then there's the 12-inch, which is the size of a normal record that has 1 or 4 songs, whatever. So because they didn't put it out and was so popular, it helped their sales. It wasn't diluted.
It seems like they were making smart moves outside of just creating it. Even with the dropping like 5 different versions of a song. You know,
Oh, yeah.
yeah, like all of this is like casting a wider net, or more like.
Oh yeah,
yeah.
One of the versions somebody's bound to dig.
Yeah,
and it's dance floor. Remember, you know, they're aimed at the dance floor, and this is a very New York thing, and we'll get into that also. But very New York for them to look at what was going on with this sparse kind of thing and go, "Hey, we were doing this kind of rock and roll thing that started from post punk. I think this is what we like. You know, I think we like kind of making people dance, despite the lyrics being dark. And by the way, as you said, a lot of titles that aren't on the songs. So you kind of go, that's my favorite song. And you go through and go, they don't say that anywhere in the song.
Yeah.
A lot of that you'll find. You won't know what your favorite song is by this band because the title's not on it.
True. All right. It opens with Ceremony. This is written, recorded, and performed by Joy Division at Ian Curtis's last show before it was re-recorded as New Order's first single. Its original B-side, In a Lonely Place, which I fucking love, was a carryover from Joy Division as well. While originally released as a 4-piece, they re-released this version with Jillian. Okay, let me take it again. While originally released as a 4-piece, they re-released this version with Jillian after she joined.
I did make a mistake. I'm sorry to make a mistake. It's a 3-piece. They were a 3-piece prior to Jillian joining. I'm sorry. I just want to.
There's somebody right now that is so mad right now, Morty.
I know. It's
throwing their iPhone across the thing.
Yeah. Well, get a life. Get a life.
So this is the song. This is the song. This is the one that you listened to while you ran prior to. Yeah. So here, do you want to hear a little bit just so you can think about that?
Great my whistle.
Play a little taste, Adam. You know, I kill it. So even though this is a compilation record, there's something really. It almost feels like it could be a regular record the way that this whole album is sequenced. I don't know if they concentrated on that, but this is a good way to open the record to introduce you into the band if you've never heard them before. It's danceable, but it still has that what I know about Joy Division. It has that Joy Division sound.
Yeah, and it also feels like it is dance floor, but it's also a drive. There's like a joy, no pun intended, but a joy that comes out of it. When I listen to it, that like I feel like a burst of something. I don't know exactly how to say it, but like
joy burst.
I'm just getting so bad.
Those describe something I love.
Yeah, you know what I'm saying.
I do.
I have this wealth pour out of me, this like emotional feeling come out of me right away. It's very like, so. It feels like, I don't know how to explain it other than that, but like
perfect. That's a perfect way to explain it. Seriously. So let's talk about joy and the joy you get from stand up. You know, I think you're an incredible comedian.
Oh, thanks, man.
So I want to know when, but those moments were pretty damn good. So just know that
there's more coming. Yeah.
God,
I hope so.
If you survive a tour with Bert, yes.
Yeah.
When did you first realize that was your calling?
I remember the first time I did stand up, I was like, well, this is where I'm in, you know, and it wasn't like, I know, like, you know, in stand up, when you start in your community is like, are you real about it or are you not? Are you going to be it yet? You know, like none of that mattered to me so much because I knew when I did it, I was happy. Like in that moment, I was like, this is it. This is my space. I wasn't sure. I'd always kind of infantilized it and like thought about it a great deal before I tried it. But then I was like, oh yeah, this is it. This is where I'm going to be, you know, and hopefully it goes well. Like, but I was like, everybody else's opinion about it on like, if you're going to be real or you're going to go for it. It's not that I never like took that shit in, but I knew for me, I was in right away. I didn't need somebody to convince me like, you know, this isn't for tourists or that kind of shit. Like a lot of, like, there's a lot of that feeling in comedy. Like, this is like, you know, this is where this is where we're loners and all we have is this kind of shit. I was like, well, that sounds fine. A fine reason to keep doing this too, but I'm doing it because it makes me fucking happy. Yeah. And like, I find love in this place. So
how was that first set?
You know, pretty couple of applause breaks, standing ovation. There's a lot.
Mine too.
Yeah. No, I opened with my closer.
Oh.
And it was
on purpose or by mistake?
You know, I thought I'd just come out of the gate. I was like making wild decisions in my head right away. I was like, Like I was like, I felt like I knew, I was just talking to myself. I was like, they need something a little harder out of the gate. Like you can't just
gotta bring the
and
heat,
I'd never done it before. So I was like, well, I'll just hit him with this abortion chunk right up front. And
you're tackling abortion for a set.
Yeah. Oh yeah. It's cute. It was good stuff. There's a lot of puns. And then just it was at a place called the Hungry Tiger 2 in Portland. Still there, TOO, because there were two of them.
Okay.
And real cute. And then I was like, this is it. I was in. It was my dad's birthday. I don't think that had anything to do with it. I was in the moment. Like I was there, and I was like, and then I remember thinking it went well, which I'm sure it didn't in hindsight, but I remember
you have nothing to compare it to.
One joke, one real laugh, something really hitting the way you picture it hitting in your first set is a success.
Any laugh, any noise out of the audience is a success because you just, even if they're like, that's like, oh, dude, I'm fucking killing because and then getting a reaction.
It turned into a crippling weight on my second set. I was like, I think I have this figured out already.
Oh, me too.
Yeah. And then I acted like a comedian on my second set instead of trying to be one for 5 minutes. And I remember breaking into a cold sweat. I didn't invite anyone to the first one. And then I was like, you guys should come to this one.
Me too. Holy shit. God.
I was like eating shit. But even in my second set, it was the day I got fired from my job.
What job?
I waited tables and bartended forever. So I've been fired from every bar on the face of planet Earth.
Me too. We're very similar.
Yeah. And then I was like, you guys come to this set. I don't need this job anymore. You guys are fucking stuck at it. And then, really felt like I needed a job after the second one. And then, it fucking passes quick. Like it moves very fast. Like your experience in comedy, like we were at Montreal, was it 8 years ago?
2013. Yeah.
Yeah. That was a fucking decade ago almost, it moves faster than you would even imagine, even when you're hitting milestones,
I mean, just life in general is moving faster. It's like stand up. It's like, because there's a lot of the days are Groundhog Day. It's just like you wake up, you write, you do this, you do sets. It's every day. You
go to a diner and then you're done at the end of the day. Yeah.
And it's very rare, I think we're at the level that we're at, which is a very good level. I'm very grateful for where I'm at. I know you feel the same. And it's
I do not. I feel like I should be so much bigger.
You're in after
the show, man.
Yeah.
But it's the key to it is just is to enjoy those, those victories and to enjoy really just the process of writing and doing sets and COVID, if anything, the best thing it ever could have done was just say, man, I'm just grateful for every fucking thing I could possibly get. Even when I showcased at the Cellar, it's like, you get nervous knowing that Estee's watching you, but I was just like, I mean, this might be the only time I ever go up at this club, so I better enjoy every second of it and have fun. And it puts you in the right frame of mind.
Stand up is not about want; it's about doing. So, as is life. Like, really, it's like there's very much no want can be, I think, like a scope to look through, but that's all it can be. Yeah, it can't be a place to sit. So, and stand up, so it's like I want what you have. Well, it's this. What did Josh do to get what he has that I think looks great and looks like a fun, successful thing? Well, so he did this, this, and this. Well, then I have to do that. And my want can lead me to that position. But but there is no, and that's like all stand-up ever is. That's all comedy is, really is. Like, you have to do and create. Like, we all make dog shit too. Like, we all make bad work too. Nobody's like, outside of maybe like Norm Macdonald's worst special is still brilliant.
You're right.
Yeah. I was talking to a buddy of mine. He goes, I didn't like Norm's last special. And I was like, if I put that special out or Josh put it out or anybody else, they'd be like, because nobody knows who we are that much as stand. Like, we're not like, they'd be like, oh, this guy's the next superstar of comedy. Like, and that's like, so getting to that place, you only get to that place by doing. To put out something subpar for your work, which it wasn't, in my opinion, to be great for anybody else is how you get to a place. Like
100%.
Yeah.
100%. I'm glad you guys glad you guys got to a spiritual place for a while. It was getting a little dark with the whole time passing thing. And then I was like, thanks for ruining the Auschwitz sex camps, guys.
I'm going to tell all the Fleece Army out there because I'm going to take it there, dude. Don't waste your time. Don't waste your time. Time is the most valuable thing that we have. Enjoy every second of this journey, whether you like it or not. It's all you got. And the moment that you are in right now, listening to this podcast, is the best moment of your life because it's the only one you have.
So buy CBD oil from. Yes. So
this next ad comes from Blue Apron. It's
exactly. The carryover.
I just helped somebody. Somebody out there needed to hear that.
They did. They did.
We will.
Ironically, they actually did.
And tweet us that we saved your life, please, and we will mention you next week. So with lyrics, remember this carried over from Ceremony, and this carried over from Joy Division. It's the only song that carried over prior to that. And because Ian had done the lyrics, but he would never write down his lyrics. He didn't want them on the album or anything. So even the band wasn't sure what he sang, and everything they recorded kind of sucked that they had recorded from him doing it. So Bernard tried to guess what he had said on this thing. So he approximate what he thinks Ian had sung in concert.
No, this isn't actually this isn't actually what he. So it's just this is like
close
him.
As he thought. Yeah.
Oh.
They heard him singing. And he was like, well, we don't really have great recordings of these last show that he sang this at. Or whatever. So I'm just going to approximate it for this first song that we're doing. But yeah, you can really hear, like I said, from the beginning, you hear Hookie's driving bass. That is such an integral part. It's like, where most bass players say boom, bam, boom, boom, boom. Paul McCartney would drive, but this is just like do.
I love that do. I love do.
They play like punks.
Yeah, the bass in a way, especially.
It's very fundamentally like straight ahead. There's not a lot of like
drive.
Yeah.
I love that. All right, let's
run around the lake.
All right, so let's move on to Temptation because I knew this one immediately from Train Spotting. Like this was the one I was like, we got to talk about this one because I love I don't know her name in the movie, but Kelly McDonald. Diane. But dude, Kelly McDonald, would you remember? Like she is so hot in that. She's so hot. Do you remember when she has sex with Ewan McGregor and she's like, you're like, oh my, like, dude, I want a Scottish woman so bad because I love her. So Kelly, if you're listening, Kelly, which you're not, but maybe I don't know. Remember
on Boardwalk Empire? Do you remember what I was like, what have I seen her in? What have I seen her in? I did that for like 8 episodes. What have I seen her in?
I never watched Boardwalk Empire.
Oh, it's great. By the way, you'll go back and watch. It's great. Last episode's kind of but it's a great series.
Well, then why would I want to watch it if the last episode's kind of I want
I
want good all the way through.
It's like pizza. It's like pizza. It's still cold, but it's pizza.
It's just not the ending everybody wants.
Exactly.
Yeah, like
I get it. All right, so
I could just spoil the end of the show for you right now if you want, Josh.
How many episodes are there? Like 70?
Oh, it's like 6, 7 seasons.
Yeah.
Like
just tell me.
Tell me after. I don't want to. No. It's Scorsese. Watch it just for that.
No, don't watch it.
Don't forget. Scorsese made Bringing Out the Dead, so we can't.
Hey, that's my favorite Scorsese movie.
Oh, dude. Okay, well, mine's Kundun, so go fuck yourself.
Wow.
Which is so funny. It's like his music is always the same in every movie, and
even and it all moves the same way. Yeah.
But even in Kundun, there's a part where he's blessing people, and it's like, wow, it's just a shout away. It's just a shout away. Wow, children! And I'm like,
someone's yelling after hours at the podcast right now, dude.
I did a scene from that in my acting class. All right, let's get to this. So this re-recording was first released as both a 7-inch and a 12-inch self-produced single, and due to its electronic sound, it got lots of plays at European discos. Totally, I could see why, and caught the ear of hip American cities like New York, Chicago, and L.A. Bernard, quote this as an uplifting tale. Bernard, you're right. Hold on, let me take it again. So Peter, pick it up from here. Bernard wrote this as an uplifting tale, despite being about heartbreak. I like this part. Play 403. God, we got to figure out a way to do this better with the music. All right, don't worry about it because it's just the Green Eyes part.
Yeah.
You have something to say?
Me? No.
Yeah.
No. I was agreeing with you. The Green Eyes part. Yeah. It's great.
Great song. I don't know. What did we say about this? So Peter, figure out how to pick this up because Morty, do you have anything to add? Let's pick up from here. Morty, do you have anything to add about this song?
Yeah, Bernard has said that this is his favorite one. Hookie has said that he thinks it showcases all the elements of the band the best. You know, really shows them. They would often, here's pretty cool. They would end their shows with this a lot of times. So they'd let the drum machine and the sequencer play out. And then they would leave the stage, and then the audience would be like bewildered, like, are they going to do an encore? And they would just let
I like that. No, I like
play out.
I like when bands do that.
That's so Tim and Eric. Like, what a shit.
Very, very.
But you know, you go to see the band, you're like, yeah.
If you don't stay for this long hum for 20 minutes, then you don't really deserve the encore.
I love when bands do that, when they just like fucking just leave the distortion on and just walk off stage. It's the most rock star fucking like just cock out fucking. I love it.
It is cool, but it's also like an irritating thing to absorb after a bit. It's like
for sure. All right, let's talk.
I paid it for a garage. I only paid for 3 hours in the garage.
All right, what temptation are you incapable of turning down?
Me?
Yep.
Yeah.
Food.
Really?
Oh yeah. It's not even close. I love drinking and drugs. But like it's always food. Like, dude, I've been in New Orleans for 5 days and I've been drinking every night, but like it's the food that I just can't stop. It's like, and it's that way it'll never, it's hard to let go of food as a problem. I'm doing better than I ever have, but like it is not, you have to have it. Like you literally
for energy and fuel, but you're saying that you abuse it?
Yes. Like if something bad happens, I might drink, but I will definitely eat. Like, and I will eat, I'm in a way be like, fuck it, you had a heart, like you got bad news or this thing didn't work out. And then I will like load down on food. And then the next day, I will wake up feeling like food hungover.
Yeah.
And then I will drop a shit in my toilet that could crack it. And I'll be like, well, I guess I'm clean now. It's out of my system, you know, like, and that's it, you know, and that's like how I do it. And it's like, it's awful, but because I also just keep going. Like it's not about,
you have no self-control. It's just if you crack open a bag of Raisinets, you're fucking finishing it.
Fucking Raisinets. What a fucking
fuck you. I got a bag I got a bag of Raisinets in my fridge right now. Listen, man, I'm an addict. But one of the things that I've done over the years is like self-control, because I used to house food just like that. And I know I'm you know, I don't have an addiction to it. But like at night, I have candy every night, but I just take a little bit, and it's. Well,
I was like, it's funny to me that raisins were in your like your treat because that's
but don't forget about the Etz part, right?
The Etz is the part that gets you.
Yeah, dude, it's the Etz that's bad for you. The raisins is actually quite good for you.
Yeah.
But then listen, I go down. The
raisins are the only reason it comes out of you. Honestly, Etz will jam you up like a fucking.
Etz will jam you the fuck up. All right, what's your go-to Etz then?
Oh God, dude. It's like it's salty and sweet. So it doesn't matter. Like it is dessert and dinner. So it's like I gotta have, if I'm eating something savory, I almost instantly am like,
give me tiramisu.
Give me some sugar or something like that. And like I'll like when I'm hungover, which you know has happened pretty often, I like my number one thing is getting a big bowl of pho like. And then just like, it's like my favorite hangover. I sweat it out. It's all salt and noodles. And then I'll have like a Coke, you know, to the sugar to like even me out. And then, like if a doctor saw me, they would probably just check me into a hospital. Like it's, you know, like food, it's all food. It's like, I can live without booze, and I do drink too much, and I don't do drugs anymore, really. But like food is just like, I don't know what it is, but I just can't, like,
it's delicious. It's delicious. It's comfort. It makes you feel good. It's like, dude, we all have vices, and especially, you know, if you can't, at least you can identify it you know, and so you know that there's an issue, and hopefully you'll be able to figure it out as time
I'm doing better than I was. Like I'm smaller than I was, and my weight.
Yeah, you do. You look good, dude. You
thanks,
do look
man.
good.
But it's like one of those fucking things. I just like, especially here. I've been here all week, so it's just like, well, I'm gonna have more shrimp, or I'm gonna have.
No, but
more,
you're in New Orleans. You got to do that.
Yeah.
I want to ask, is Morty, you've no. What is your ets?
You know, I was, as you guys are thinking, I mean, I'm older than you guys, and I was a fat kid, and so I've been able to impose austerity measures on myself. So I like really am one of those people that like self noons or whatever the fuck that thing is. Like I don't eat after 8:30. I don't eat until like 1 or 2 o'clock in the evening. I've been vegan for 34, 35 years.
Damn. He never talks about it. Never talks about it.
No, I only bring it up because you brought up a
I know.
I'm all raisin, no et. No, I
that's not a compliment.
I allow myself.
Yeah. Shit on Raisinets, dude. Why do people shit on Raisinets? They're because they look like delicious. It.
Dude, Raisinets are hamster turds.
Fuck you, dude. Here's the deal. Every person listening, go home. Go to the Dwayne Reed, buy a box of Raisinets, put them in the fridge, let them sit there for 2 days, and then get high at night, crack them open, and message me and tell me how you feel. And then when your kids
come over for your weekend, and that's all you have in your fridge,
yes,
because you're a shit fuck, Dad. Like Raisinets, are you kidding? If I got Raisinets for Halloween, I'd be livid. It was like, what are we fucking in a math class? This is
yeah, it does.
I came here for a treat, not a goddamn bowel movement.
It's and they I've said, if you ever want to, because I'll have my vices, but if you ever want to know what it was like getting high with me, sit with me while I'm eating pistachios, like unshelled pistachios. I get monomaniacal, and I look like one of those squirrels on meth.
But that's how you eat That's how you eat. I'm sorry, Raisinets. Yeah, that's how you eat pistachios. You get
I eat those too. Chocolate.
We had a boil, a crawfish boil.
I saw that. Yeah,
the greatest thing ever. And then I've been going to him for years, but like, I was full and sweating and hot from all the spices, and I was still just cracking them open, sucking the heads, eating the that's what like food is for me. It's like another rail. Every bite is another bump. Yeah,
it's Hookie's driving bass.
Yeah,
that's what it is, man. That's what it brings us back to.
Adam, wait, I want to ask Adam, because what's your at real quick.
So when I moved from New York.
I said real quick, you fucking come on.
On an everything bagel.
What is it?
Bacon, egg, and cheese on an everything bagel. That's can't.
Nice.
And I miss that so much.
Oh, well, if you turn around right now, we got one for you, buddy. Take a look, dude. I got one. You got you.
It's gonna be made for you guys from a man that's from from the Middle East, and
All right, so let's get to I want to talk about Blue Monday. We got to great song, epic song. I don't know why, but for some reason, this is my favorite part of the song, possibly the entire album. Play it in 59 seconds, Adam. Here it comes. Let me see if I can do it. This might be easier. Hold on. Cut the music off. I'll just play it through here because we got to figure out a different way to do it here. Now it's time on Sprockets when we dance. Oh, 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 oh. This, you know what this music is? It's oh, 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 oh. I love it.
I love it.
Yeah, dude. I don't know why. The rest of the song is killer, but dude, that part, that little that does it for me. All right.
It feels like I got a secret.
Yes.
And then it feels like right before I got a secret. Yeah.
What is it? It's like,
and then he's like, Karen's mom's a total bitch.
She has Raisinets. Besides being one of the most influential electronic dance songs of all time, this is likely their most famous, and the title's not even in it. It came about by happy accident after they had set up a better rhythm on a new drum machine, and Steven kicked out the power cord by mistake, making them start over. Ooh, I like this. Also, Gillian had missed one note. Fuck, God damn it. Pick it up again.
We'll get it.
No. Peter, pick it up from here. Also, it's Jillian, right?
Yeah, Jillian.
Okay, yeah. So
like Jillian Welch.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So also Jillian, let me take it again. Also, Jillian had missed one note while manually programming the sequencing of the synthesizer melody, so it's slightly off kilter. Oh, that's why. Although the lyrics were rumored to be about Ian's suicide, Peter Hook has said, I don't think there is a great deal to tell behind the lyrics, if I am going to be brutally honest. It was just one of those things where Barney, meaning Bernard, just went for it, and the rest was history. And it's been remixed countless times, including by Quincy Jones, the producer, not the cancer comic, who then signed them to his record label, despite
God damn.
I had to. Despite some, I mean, he was supposed to die. Like,
there's a cancer comic called Quincy Jones.
Dude, it's a whole thing. Look him up, everybody.
It's I know, whatever. Like, I'm not jumping in on this stuff.
No,
but but Josh, that was a punch after the bell.
Yeah, it was. I'm sorry.
I'm intrigued. I'm looking him up while you guys talk.
Yeah. But that's I did not know Quincy Jones actually.
Neither did I. Do we have?
They became Quest. After this record, they're on Quest Records. They're on Quest Records, his label.
Do we have, is there a way to find that version? I would love to hear what Quincy Jones' remix is. We don't have to play it right now, but just Adam, if you could look it up and just get it to us eventually. Despite some of the band resenting its singular popularity and not playing it in concert for years, which makes no sense, they've come around to appreciating how much audiences love hearing it. You know what that reminds me of? It reminds me of like Radiohead with Creep, where they didn't play it for years and now they're playing it again and people go bananas for it.
Well, it's also like there's something about like them going bananas. Like there's a deprivation of it for your audience that when it's finally there again, you know, it's like you go see, I don't know, Jimmy Eat World, and they don't play the middle until it's only exciting, and then you're like, oh, here's the encore, here it comes. It's a Pavlov trick almost, you know, like. So like to not do it for years is wild, and the explosion in that room must have been insane when they started hearing it.
Well, it's like, you know, when Dice
I also think it's hilarious if Hooks was just like, I'm feeling kind of blue, and everybody starts to cheer. Yeah. And then he's like, hey, you know, then he just goes in a different direction. That'd be fun for me. Like,
I want to ask you about a different direction, because you basically took Guy Fieri's career and literally, I think, you know, put into a perspective that other people like hadn't ever seen before. So why don't you just tell us a little bit about that whole situation?
Oh, yeah. I mean, here's the thing. It's cool that I wrote it, and I think I wrote a good joke. Right?
Just so everybody knows, he has a joke. And how, you know, what would be like the elevator pitch on the joke? It's basically you're talking about.
He's a good dude, and people shit on him because of how he looks. Like it's like book by its cover.
Yes.
Yeah. And I started thinking about like because you know, we would go to shitty mics or whatever, and everybody's like, it's like Guy Fieri on a fucking tricycle, or you know, like,
yeah,
fuck off. That's all the same shit. It's boring. I know it's an easy thing for people to get, but it's like you're writing a joke anyone else can tell, and like that never interested me, and so I wanted to see what it was like. And I just remember it started, and I've said this on other podcasts before or whatever, but like it started with like one line was just like, I was like, hey, could someone please explain to me what the fuck Guy Fieri ever did to anyone? And it would get a chuckle. And then then the line I had was, cause all he ever did was follow his dreams. and then it kind of like, it burst open. And then I was like, oh, I got to stretch this joke out because it's all right there. You know, like it was like finding the hook was, and then I just started reading about him, which no one researches their material anymore for the most part. People just
talk.
Yeah. Talk. And like, this is my opinion. This is how I feel. And it's like, well, maybe if you actually looked at what you were talking about, you might have a good joke in there somewhere.
Yeah.
As opposed to a fucking engine attached to a fan boat that's just going in the fucking swamp. Like, you know, like it's all horse. Like, they're just driving in the wrong direction half the time to me.
Mm-hmm.
So the joke, I did it, and it's actually kind of cool to tie it into the music thing. I thought it was going to do well. I really and I was like anxious to get it on TV, like because nobody had it yet.
So we recorded it. I recorded my half hour, did all that, and then Vulture premiered the track ahead of my half hour, but it was going to be, I was doing Conan that to promote the half hour, like I think 3 weeks later or something like that. But it premiered on Vulture and it went fucking nuts. Like, and I was on a bus with my buddy Adam, who was in a band called Scenes from a Movie. They were kind of like in the Fallout Boy. They were like in Spin and stuff. They had a bit of moment. But we were on our way to Outsidelands where I was performing, and my phone was. Yeah.
Were we there? Was that 2017?
Was that it? Yeah.
I think I was there with you.
I did the jam. Yeah. Yes. I did the jam. Yeah. And but my phone was blowing up on the bus, like fucking like it wouldn't stop ringing. Everything was going viral, and people were tweeting and texting me. And Adam and I were like losing our minds. I was like, I'm not going to be on a bus ever again after this fucking, and I was like, I'm going, like, it's all lining up. I have a viral bit about Guy Fieri, and here I am on my way to go perform at Outsidelands with all these cool people.
Yeah.
Everyone could suck my dick, like, and then, then I was on a show with Tiffany Haddish, and that's what a star looks like.
Yeah.
And, I still tried to do Guy Fieri jokes, so but it was like, yeah.
Did you follow it up with, "Hey, Guy Fieri's still doing great"?
Yeah.
Still a big fan.
But I did it, and I remember thinking like there was like this moment of clarity in it because I was like, it was started off as such a hot weekend. The whole weekend was good, but my last show was like kind of outside of the jam was kind of. It was counter programmed with two other really big shows, and one of them was The Who. And so I could hear Teenage Wasteland to like while I was on stage doing a half filled room, and I was like, well, better get back on that bus. Yeah. But it felt like it's very like, I have like a proclivity for music being in an ambient sense of being around, like. And I was just like, well, this feels like an appropriate song for me. Like, I really thought I was riding high. And then, it's whatever. But
it is whatever, but it's a great
But he
joke,
called
man.
me. He called
Did
me.
he?
Oh,
Yeah.
wow.
To his credit, he called me. And it was very brief, but he was terribly sweet. And he was like, thank you so much, blah, blah, blah. And I like.
Was he like, I just want to tell you, Shane, your joke was Flavor Town. Straight Flavor Town, bro.
He was. He is 100% the dude. And that call, he's like the dude you think he is. Like, he's 100% like, keep kicking ass. We got a lot to talk about and all this kind of stuff. Yeah.
Oh, I love it.
And then I tried calling him back and I never heard from him again.
Yeah, ever.
He's in Flavor Town now, to be honest with you. He's in some diner in like West Baltimore. Like the crab cakes are just. And then the aioli is a kapow. He's the man. I love you. I have to give a big shout out to Meth Syndicate. My buddy.
Oh, best shirts.
Best shirts, but they love Guy, and they've met him a few times. They were there when he got his star on the Hollywood Walk of Fame, and they told me to say hi to you because they love your joke. So
he's great. I've ordered a couple of shirts. I have the Tracy Chapman NASCAR.
Yes,
that's my favorite. Yeah.
Everybody go to @Meth Syndicate, MET. So it's METH and then spell Syndicate. Meth Syndicate on Instagram and get his shirts. I love Eric. I love Rebecca.
He's a killer and he does really great work. Yeah.
Great work.
And they're sweethearts.
The best.
They're really
the best.
supportive. Real supportive.
Yeah. Oh, they're the best. All right, let's move on to Confusion because this is our deep cut we want to talk about. So like Temptation, this is another re-recording from this compilation. This 12-inch single achieved crossover success on the US dance charts and has both Peter Hook and Bernard Sumner playing bass. This is when they and New York's music culture mutually embraced each other. Let us hear a little taste. 218. Hold on. Let me play it. I'll play it, dude. I'll play it until we figure out. Hold on. God damn it. I got it. Adam, kill it. Let's see we get to the part. Right. Fucking. I mean, I don't know why this one's the deep cut, because this is really good, Morty.
Well, no, I mean, I just tried to pick ones that I think people know the huge one. I wanted to.
Well, no. I get what you're saying. Let's. Do you have anything you want to add to this, Shane?
I think it sounds like the music geeks fuck too, but other than like,
I wouldn't want them.
It's a great song. It's a great song, but it does seem like there's a sensuality to it in the way I move that makes me like feel that way, but at the same time immediately recognize that it is not a good version of feeling that way or trying to look that way. If that makes sense. I feel like I'm sexy right now. And then you just catch a reflection of yourself and you're like,
I could see Dana Gould and Reggie Watts fucking to this.
Yeah, that's I actually
like, definitely Reggie 100. I would love to know the music.
And then when the cartoon comes out, you can do a voice on it.
Yeah. So we mentioned it earlier, but beginning about confusion. So everybody knows, in 2013, me and Shane got invited to be new faces at the prestigious Just for Laughs festival in Montreal. It's a huge deal. I did rep, which I don't know why I did rep, because I had such a shitty agent, and you did unrepped, right?
Yeah, and it's like, for people who don't know, it is like getting into Harvard of comedy in a weird way of like, it's like, it doesn't mean you have a career, but it means you have a shot at one.
Yes. Perfect way to put it. That is a perfect way to put it, which is also really funny to see everybody with Jeff Singer just resigning, and all of these people that never went to JFL being like, that festival doesn't do anything for you. Nobody's had a breakout. Like, I don't care. I've never wanted it. And I'm like, bitch, if they would have offered it to you, would have done
they
it in
all
a second.
Taken it. Yeah. That's not,
it might not help you in the moment, because that's really the experience, is that it didn't help me in the moment. But a year later, Robbie Praw, when the Jam was taking off, called me and was like, dude, you were one of my favorite showcases last year. I don't know why you're not, growing where I thought you would be quickly. So he's like, so I want to help you, and I want to give you 6 straight shows, 6 nights in a row at the goddamn Comedy Jam. I don't even need to see the show. The elevator pitch is good enough. And in a sense, he's the reason I have the TV show. He's the reason I have my whole career, is all because of Robbie Praw. But there was a moment. Do you remember it? It was when me and you talked about
where everybody was at the hotel bar, and we were like just to the side of it, right?
We were at that party outside. I think it was the Netflix party or the Funny or Die party.
It was the Funny or Die sponsored. Yeah.
So we talked, because we were both heartbroken, because you always expect so much, and yet, like I said, it's deferred sometimes. So tell me about, because our careers really didn't kick in right there, but both of us obviously have turned,
we've done okay.
We're doing okay. Yeah,
we're doing rich.
We're doing great. Well, I mean, speak for yourself, dude. I mean, I have a Dyson vacuum, so I don't know about you.
You are on the Upper East Side, apparently, in some rich lady's cleaning closet.
Moving on up.
I mean, I do have a Porsche Macan S, but my mom did have to co-sign for it. Besides that, doing pretty good. Tell me about your experience and why we had that talk.
There's a value in getting things, but also keeping in perspective what they actually mean. Like we did the work to get that, right? But that doesn't, you're just leveling up. It doesn't mean you're getting the thing after it. People don't go to JFL because it's the height of their comedy career as a new face. What it is, it's the beginning of there's things after that you hope it leads to, right? So I think being like, I'm still here to work. This just means all I did was get a little further along, but nothing is done. My bank account's still the same. I'm still in the same position, all that kind of shit. So I think there's a value in while accomplishing something and getting something like that is great, enjoy it, but notice that what the relief actually is from it is sometimes it's more work. And then sometimes it's just that thing. Because my roommate got it the same year as Rept. We were both living in Portland. We're the only 2 guys to ever get it out of Portland at that point.
Who is that, Ian?
Yeah.
No, Ron Funches got it before.
The year before. Yeah, that's true. And Ron was basically a roommate at that point too. But Ian was like, I don't remember if you remember this, but he blew up. He was one of the guys. Yeah. I remember he was the guy. Yeah, we were hanging out, talking, getting lunch one day, and he was like,
oh, it's great, man. Like all the like he was agents were approaching him and shit, and like really on his way to like doing well. And Ian has a fucking killer career. Yeah. And I was like, he was like, what about you? Because we weren't really seeing each other because we weren't on the same shows, you know. And I remember feeling very much like there was a cool kid scene at it, and then there was like whatever I was doing. And
that was with you.
Yeah, we were saying fucking. We sat at the weird lunch table. Yeah. And then I was like kind of heartbroken because I was like, I'm finally doing this. You know, like I'm on my way, and I was still on my way. I just didn't know it. You know, like because it didn't go well. I got one fucking card from one agent or one manager, and he never called me back. And I was so because I lived in Portland, so I don't know. I didn't have any Hollywood experience about comedy. I just knew how to do stand up a little bit, you know. But I had no showbiz acumen whatsoever. I saw an owner of a club that I worked. And I was walking into the hotel where he goes, hey, good to see you. I'm glad you made it here. And I was like, oh, thanks. He goes, this is Sharon. She's with UTA. And I was like, oh, what's UTA? Like,
wow.
Yeah. And that, you know, and now I'm on UTA's roster. So like, but I remember she's been, oh, it's an agency. I was like, yeah, that's probably what that is. You know, like, and I was like, I guess I'll just go fucking put down a $9 high life from the Hilton bar. Yeah. And then, you know, like, and I just remember like it wasn't a horrible experience for me, but the part that was hard about it was that I felt like I was swimming in the dark, like in the sense because like I was unrepped and I wasn't even from LA or New York. So I didn't have any idea what it meant to like be there, like doing the business part of show business.
Yeah.
You know, like, and it was really, I mean, it was heartbreaking. Like, you know, you hear it and you're like, fucking, whatever. Somebody's just going to hit me in the face with a stack of $100 bills and I'll be on my way to a fucking house. You know, like, and that's not how it happens. And, and that's not how it happens for people there that have breakouts. You know, like, they take an opportunity. They have a good set. People want to get on board with them, and then they run with that.
Yeah.
You don't do well at JFL and then get to have a syndicated sitcom. That's not how it fucking works. You know, and people say, oh, they don't get shit from it anymore. It's like people still get things, and I understand it's not the free-for-all it was. It's not the .com boom thing it was.
Yeah.
But don't act like an asshole. There's like still an opportunity to be made there, and the reason you're not getting anything from it is because you just think this without ever having done anything. Like, what gets anybody anything for the most part? Like your fucking hard work and consistency in a regular thing gets you done. You know, like none of this, like they're not just going to give it to you.
No, but you know, for both of us, you know, like you said, you're in Portland, you know, so it's a huge deal for you to get it in Portland. And me, I am in LA and I am in the mix, but you know, I'm still DJing at a strip club. And I mean, for like months knowing about it from June until, you know, July, when I found out when I had to go, in my head, I was like, I'm going to be the breakout. I'm going to do this. And my set was whatever. Like it ended really strong. The first 2-3 minutes were terrible, but then I got present and I never say I killed, but I did have the bag from what Brian Baldwin just said. I had the biggest laugh on one joke that anybody had on any of their jokes. He was like that got the biggest pop.
Yeah.
But much like you, no cards, no management. I remember getting back to LA and having to go back to work at the strip club, which broke my heart. And
same, I was like, I would see buddies and I would like, here I go. And the woman I was dating at the time was very like, we're on our way, you know, like, and I was like, we are, you know, and I was like, and then I remember like 2 days before it was like, I was freaking out. It was like the biggest day of my life coming up. Yeah. And she was like, are you still into this relationship? And I was like, I cannot have this talk. Like, it was maybe the most selfish I've ever been with a woman in a relationship. But I was like, I literally gave her a now is not the time kind of thing. And it wasn't, you know, and then I was like, I remember getting back on the plane to go home to Portland. I was like, well, at least I still got her. or do I? And it turns out I didn't. But it was also good for us.
She's like, you only got one card.
Yeah. And then I remember I had to I was like, I had to fly down to LA and meet with this guy.
I think the moral of this to everybody listening is, it's enjoy the work. I love how you said it. It's nice to get it. It's nice to get accomplishments, but we love stand up so much that doing stand up, like if you look at every win as Christmas instead of looking at every day as Christmas. Every day we get presents, we get to perform, we get to do what we love. Some days are better than others, but we get to do this great job. And JFL is just a nice little reward, but we never have to wait another 364 days for another Christmas. We get to enjoy all of it. So enjoy the work and stay out of the results. Just keep loving the work.
That's a very make the work, and whatever it happens with it. And then you can only put it out there. You can't control your audience, only you can only put it out to people, and whoever who likes it.
Yeah.
That should be the same thing with the work. You can't control who's going to make an opportunity for you. You can only put it in the right direction, and hopefully
And I think I think that's kind of one of the cool things about not just being a comic, because that bonds us, but we had that moment, what I mean? And for the rest of our lives, you and I are linked together. We see each other. We both saw each other at our most, we were so vulnerable.
Hopefully our most.
No, I mean, I talked about JFL a lot of times on the podcast, to the point where my manager had to say, stop talking about JFL, dude, because it was a big thing. It changed. It made me create the goddamn Comedy Jam. It made me almost move to New York because I was so upset with stand-up, because I was like, I'm still at the strip club. Andrew Santino's got a TV show. Pete Davidson's blowing up. I can go down the whole list of everybody and what they got, because I was so ungrateful for the fact that I got it.
Yeah, and it's I not having a direction for it after it was it's my own fault. It really is. I understand that it did not blossom out the way I wanted it to.
Yeah.
But I shouldn't have been going into it well, now it's done. I just have to do this part well, and then the rest of it's figured out. That's not how anything has ever worked in the history of the world. So, and also, I've never been back, but I've done shit fine. I've done well, so it's also
great.
So everybody who fucking passed on me or didn't want to make eye contact with me, it's also fuck you. Dig in. A loss can always be a win, especially in this game. Getting your fucking dick knocked in the dirt is a valuable thing if you choose to let it be after you get up.
For sure. Perfectly said. Perfectly said, man. All right, what's a perfect follow-up song? Oh, Morty.
Let me give you this here. So this and the following song, Thieves Like Us, were the first songs recorded in New York, and they were co-written and produced with famous New York DJ Arthur Baker, who made the pioneering electro rap track, I'm sure you guys will know, with the Kraftwerk sample, Planet Rock, which is by Africa Bambaataa and the Soul Sonic Force. They've gone on to work with him for over 20 years since then. This shows where they were really had their ear to what was going on, in America at the time, but a lot of Americans weren't even on to.
Those producer relationships are so interesting the further along they go, and how they branch out. Because I was reading about Daniel Lanois.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, and he's I had no idea who he was. I just kind of stumbled down a Wikipedia hole about him. It's oh, this guy is fucking hit monster album after monster album.
Oh yeah, dude.
Yeah. And I was I'm always I'm in New Orleans, and apparently he lives here. And I was if I see this motherfucker, I might kiss him on the mouth.
There's a hegemonic run that producers get a lot, where they do 7 albums in a row. Jeff Lynne had a run.
Yeah.
Daniel Lanois had a run. Hugh Padgham had a run. And then you'll be I love every one of these. In 85 to 89, I can name one dude. Daniel Lanois. If you look at this, it's so. And then Joshua
Peter Gabriel.
Tree. Joshua Tree. So, and you go, Jesus Christ, those are all him.
Yeah, and it's
in a row.
And it's weird to have somebody. I think it's so beautiful to his fingerprints are on albums who have touched people all over the world.
Bob Dylan, 2 of the Bob Dylan albums they've done already.
Yeah,
and not be famous in a weird they're monstrously successful and a better career than half of the musicians he's made seminal albums for and big moments for. But I think it's just such a beautiful thing to give the world your work anonymously, and there's like got to be a freedom in it, like not anonymously, but in a way of like
he's respected.
It's not the most public thing. Yeah,
right.
yeah. But he's not like Joshua Tree is like an amazing album and everybody knows it, but most people have no idea that he produced it.
Right.
I thought it was Eno. I really thought it was Eno.
No, he did Unforgettable Fire. That was
Yeah.
Oh,
and then
so it's like I think it's I think it like to kind of move into this direction of like you can still put good work out there even if no one even if you're not getting credit for it, like which he does, but you understand what I'm saying. Like it doesn't have to be
you're still getting
it doesn't have to be so public facing.
Yeah, exactly.
Just
make it about him.
Yeah. All right. So would have been a perfect segue. Well, I guess it is. Shell shock, because that's what we both experienced after JFL.
I'm sorry, I dropped that in too.
No. This was a really cool song to listen to, and I recommend everybody listen to it with headphones on because the music goes in and out. They really did a good.
They pan it.
Yeah, it was really cool. I had a good experience. This co-write and co-production with electro freestyle producer John Robbie.
I think Roby, but yeah,
was an international hit. But what I want to know is, from you have been opening for Bert on the road, and what was the most shocking thing you've experienced while on the road with Bert?
I keep harping back to this. So I've been with opening for Bert pre-COVID, during COVID, during the drive-in stuff, and hopefully we'll keep working together after.
Say Bert Kreischer for those that don't know who you're talking about. Yeah.
I would say I knew Bert when he wasn't filling clubs. We just happened to we had paired together a couple of times. Like I was featuring and he wasn't filling clubs yet. He was doing fine. He had a career. But in some ways he was probably a little bit ahead of where I am now in my career. Like getting dates, working, but not selling everything out.
Yeah.
And then I knew things were going pretty good for him. And I heard, and we'd seen each other, talked here and there. And then he was like, do you want to come do some more work with me? And I was like, I'd love to. And then he was like, all right, here are the dates. And I got on he was like, yeah, the bus. And I was like, all right. And just seeing the jump of it was insane. Cause it was it started being, on his first theater tour, I opened for him at the Wilbur in Boston. We did 2 nights, 4 shows. And it was wild, how crazy it got for him from being a guy who was just killing and getting laughs to insatiable fandom.
Yeah, dude.
It's fucking nuts. And then even seeing it last year in the drive-ins where people were just driving in because of COVID and putting camping chairs out and being safely distanced and still wanting to see that was wild too. They all want to. So I mean, just see it and then, we'd be driving around and everything was so muted.
Yeah.
Because of the comedy wasn't working the same. And we had an off day here in New Orleans. And this is my favorite city. But I was walking in the quarter and there was no life in it. That I actually felt oh my God. I was really heartbroken over it. So that would be the shell shocking thing. But to see it in the sense of comedy was just seeing how what big actually looks like in comedy is so different than what I thought it was.
Is it just drinking all day long though?
Man, he's a fucking pro. I don't see him get loaded during the day. I might see him have a beer when we're on a river or something like that. Or doing a activity or some kind of social thing.
Yeah.
But after it's on fucking Donkey Kong.
Yeah.
It's it really is. And then I wake up and I'm just I drank a 5th of vodka. And now my heart is beating from sleeping. Dude, right? It's shit. And then I'm and then it's all salted beets and shit. There's no.
Oh yeah, Dave Williamson just cooking up the most incredible brisket. He's one of the best barbecue people I've ever had in my life.
Yeah, and it's fucking exhausting. So yeah, it's also at the end of it, you're just I actually just took a dry cat turd shit. That's how dehydrated I am.
So disgusting.
Well, that actually leads to the next song, Bizarre Love Triangle, because that's what you're experiencing with the food, the drink, and everything. Wait, was there anything you needed to add, Morty?
Let me throw this into. No, dude. If you have a good one.
No, I don't.
It's got to be exhausting though to be him and have people just probably run up like Jim Morrison, like
he's good.
Here's Coke. Here's booze. Here's because they,
I will say he's good to all of them. I never see him like during COVID it was clearly different. You couldn't talk to anyone really, but he gives a lot of himself to his audience, which is not a thing I do very well.
He's a man.
Yeah,
he's the man. We did Cock Socks and we've talked about this on here, but he did Red Hot Chili Peppers Give It Away at the goddamn Comedy Jam second anniversary, and he was like, "We're doing Cock Socks." I was like, "I'm in."
You guys are so much braver than me with that. I did Build Me Up Buttercup when we were outside.
Wow. Great job at it though.
That was fun. Yeah.
So this one's inspired by John Roby's 1983 hit "One More Shot." You guys might be too young to remember that. One more shot, cause I love it. Okay,
I don't know it.
I'm the only one that danced in the 80s. I'm the only one that was alive in the 80s.
I was alive.
He called it Sea Bank was the name of what he called it. And those of you that know the John Hughes movie Pretty in Pink, this was on the soundtrack about a month before it actually came out. So yeah, I was impressed to sort of find that out there, that they based it on that song.
That's awesome. All right, Bizarre Love Triangle. There is so much to love about the song, but for some reason, I don't know why, but this is my favorite part. Hold on, I'll play it. Oh, you got it. Where is it, you fucking motherfucker? There it is. Yeah, I got it. 418.
Yeah, it's great. Yeah.
So it's just another one where the title doesn't appear in the song, but even without it's obvious. It's let me take it again. But even without it, it's obvious. It's about the conflicting mix of excited confusion when passion takes over. I think this is one of their best songs.
Oh yeah.
I first heard this, like I mentioned, through Frente. Do you have? Hold on, let me see if I can get the Frente version. I'll do it.
And Josh is. Yeah.
Every time I think of you, I get a shot right through into a bolt of blue. It's no problem of mine, but it's a problem I find.
Living the life that I can't leave behind. Oh, that's it. Because you turn it off.
Man, I fucking
takes me back, man. That really.
Have you done a covers episode?
No, dude. We got fucking 322 more records to go, bro. We don't have time for fucking covers, dude.
Do a Patreon of the best cover of each band.
God. Join the Patreon.
Probably kill you.
Join the Patreon. This takes me back, man.
It's beautiful.
Beautiful song. Anything you want to add, Morty?
Yeah, man. So the part you like, just all those ha 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 ha. They started using that sampler, early emulators and stuff. They actually use it on one of the ones we had skipped over. Sorry, everybody out there is killing us. It's called Perfect Kiss. They had frogs chirping, doing that similar thing, but using croaking frogs on on the Perfect Kiss. On Perfect Kiss, the same way you have a ha 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 ha. Yeah,
that's fucking great. It's basically it almost was a Disney cartoon.
Well, they honed that. They honed that first by doing farts. If you actually, which exactly what you think they would do. They first did it by farting and then sequencing farting sounds, and then went, okay, we could do this with anything. On this one in particular, they had actually played this for a while live before they'd ever brought it into the studio. And so it had various iterations, including being called Broken Promises as well as Broken Guitar Strings. So this is one of the ones they worked up. And, as a song, this is the one, like you said, when you play the acoustic version, where it actually has a lyric. I can go, oh yeah, I can sing along with the lyric. It's not sort of veiled. Some of the other ones are, how does it feel to treat, it's
that's
like sort of
Monday.
Yeah, that's sparse. I'm saying this one, you can actually go, every time I think of you can go, oh, I can actually sing along with this. And it makes for less of just a dance floor.
It is a lovely song. That Frente version is so good. I mean, even if you hear her like subtle voice, and it's just she's this probably this like frail, like small girl, and it's like it's a beautiful love song.
Her voice is very arid in it. Like it's
yeah.
very
And
arid
it's
and,
like, and I think both versions are great. I think all of them are. Wait, do you also have the Quincy Jones version of the thing? Just play that now so we can hear it. Come on, Adam. You got it.
This is Blue Monday, right? Okay.
Yeah. You got it. You playing it? No.
You got to give it up to Quincy, dude. I mean, this is right after Thriller when he hears Blue Monday, and he's like, "I'm going to do a remix of this weird British downer band," you know, like,
and also to leave his lane, like what we thought his lane was.
Yeah, or somebody told him, and he was just so forward thinking. He went, "Sign these guys."
Yeah,
you're like, sign? Have you like signed these British, you know, dudes and a chick jumping
noticing,
up and,
noticing the work, you know?
Yeah, standing there, because that was a big thing too. They weren't a real, you know, vibrant thing to look at.
Yeah.
You got it? It's playing? It's not playing.
It's a silent mix. He did a mix that was not to bother people.
Is it on Spotify?
It was his Eno to play at airports.
Hold on.
That's a great album.
It is. I just listened to him on Rick Rubin's podcast. He does a great interview with Brian Eno.
Oh yeah.
He talks about that. You know, Brian Eno is one of those dudes. We've done 2 or 3 of his albums. Just imagine, I'm at the airport and I realize there's some shit way back, and I'm gonna realize I'm gonna make a record for that.
Yeah. And him and Lanois, actually, to wrap it up, him and Daniel Lanois, like Lanois' his protege. Yeah. To some degree.
All right, just hey Peter, find it and add it later. Hey, let's react to it like it's good. Ah, that was pretty good. I like.
Yeah.
Sorry, now don't go over the top, dude. Come on.
Okay. Me not go over the top.
Yeah, my favorite part was Vincent Price laughing on it.
So the next one I want to talk about, and the final song in the record I want to talk about, is what I think is one of the most 1980s sounding song ever written, True Faith. This is my favorite song from the 80s. I'm going to cover it at the goddamn Comedy Jam. I've liked it before I listened to this, but from really listening to it with the rest of their music, it has made me love. I think this is a perfect song. I say that sometimes. This is genuinely is just a perfect song. So this is the only new song added for this record, which is insane. It was co-written and recorded with their producer, Stephen
Haig, I believe.
Haig, and released as a single in 1987, despite a grueling tour schedule. Even though Hookie, even though Hookie denied the rumored drug connotations, Bernard has said it is indeed about drug dependency written through an addict's perspective, and maybe that is why I love it so much. Anything you want to add to this, Shane?
It's nice to hear why you like it so much. I like that's all that. Yeah, I don't. For me on this one, I like this tune, but it's not the one I fall in love with. You know, like, but it's nice to see other people get things out of something you don't get as much out of. You know,
I don't know what it. I think it just rules. It rules. The song rules on every level. I love the lyrics. I've read the lyrics with the song many times. It's a good song to work out to. It's a good song to walk to. It's a good song to drive to.
There are ways, there's ways you can what you're doing, how a song fits into what you're doing.
I love the keyboards. I love everything about it. I think this is a phenomenal song. Morty, anything you want to add?
There's a reason you love this. They wrote this specifically to be a top 40 hit. They had a huge tax bill, and they were like, okay, the next thing we write is going to be a big hit. Like, to me, it sounds a lot like, but if you look at Blue Monday, Bizarre Love Triangle, this is like the perfect. Here's the formula. Here's honing it. Here's us doing it.
It makes perfect sense. No, that makes perfect sense.
Yeah, they even cut out. Yeah, sorry. Go on.
It's cookie cutter as fuck, but it's like it sounds like an 80s song, but for some reason, I just fucking dig it.
Yeah, they even cut out one of the lines in it. So what you guys know is when I was a very small boys talk to me. Now that we've grown up together, what they originally had, what they say on the record is they're afraid of what they see was actually, they're all taking drugs with me. So it was a little more overt about the drug thing. Exactly. So so they went and remember, this is 1987. So I graduated high school. Just Say No was huge in America. Like you guys remember like Nancy Reagan?
Yeah, dude. And thank God they did it, Morty, because it worked. Everybody stopped doing drugs
everybody
after
stopped
that.
forever.
Everybody stopped.
Yeah.
Yeah, the shining.
It's all very clean now.
But yeah, it was really weird to like be at this era because all of a sudden people were just stupid.
Was
like,
it huge? Like, that's just a perfect.
Oh yeah.
Was it huge? I mean,
they had a video. You guys don't remember? The video for it was really striking. It was like when you guys watch the video, it's very much like people in like these weird primary colors, like hitting each other. It's like almost performance art, like Blue Man Group kind of stuff, and a lot of movement. And a lot of stuff. So it was very hard this is a time when you couldn't separate a song and a video because you weren't getting music on the radio as much as you were getting it from like watching MTV. So like you would get that. So when this came out, it was so tied to the video. I can't hear this without watching
seeing the video.
But it's interesting. Like I said, it's very interesting because around this era, all of a sudden, everybody that did drugs or anything that would have been like Cheech and Chong, everything was like, if they're stoned guys, they're not stoned. So Bill and Ted, they never get high, but Bill and Ted are stoners through the whole movie, which is crazy. But nobody gets high anymore. So they made it was like 8 years of people just being stupid that were obviously high. But they went from Cheech and Chong where you were like, oh, I get it, they're high.
Yeah.
So like everything that came out between the Just Say No era was like Beavis and Butter or whatever it was. None of them could actually be doing what we knew.
Everything was implied and never seen.
Yeah, never show. Bill and Ted are total stoners, but they never get high. So it's just it was just so weird. Wayne and Garth never get high, but they're written as total like stoners. So it was really weird to watch.
Radar from MASH, same.
Totally one-handed.
Adam, you said you have the video. You have the video.
Yeah, this video is pretty wild.
Yes. Where should he be going? Like the middle, beginning, end?
Oh, anywhere. Just the beginning of it will just hit you. Like the minute you see the beginning, you go, "Oh, I get it."
Put it on, Adam.
Yeah, you don't forget this one.
Is that two men giving each other blowjob? No, I'm kidding.
Just watch. I wish.
I love it so much. There's a character. There's that Salacious Crumb from Star Wars.
Oh my god.
That's the guy. That's the guy when he walks into he goes into Jabba's hut and he goes, "What a wonga. A Jabba no bother."
It's like Cirque du Soleil or something. And then it's because like you said, they were relatively enigmatic on stage, and a lot of their stuff was about how they would just be there. They were just on stage giving this music, which is odd for like a dance troupe because they weren't like, hey, like, band.
They were kind of just playing.
Greatest music video that ever existed. Dude, that's up there with Jamiroquai, Virtual Insanity. I mean, that's because I think he's got the same hat in it. All right, let's do some facts and get out of here.
I'll bounce through. So when they started, they were just paying themselves £72.50 a week. After Blue Monday's success, they upped it to $103.50 a week. So that was like, their wages,
okay.
This is shit like bands did. Like you lead, like the Beatles were given £25 a week, and you're like, they were the Beatles, and they were like, that's your like their per diem of what their career was.
But 25 pounds in 1963, 64, when the Beatles were popping off is like, that's like, a couple thousand.
Because it was a wage. People forget that shit worked on wages. It wasn't like somebody just gave you a big check and you're like, God damn. Like it was like, no, we're still going to pay you. Like you work for a job. So, and then
Shane. No, go ahead. No. I was going to ask him the question, but so you said you had more, you were going to do the next one.
No.
All right. So Peter, so Peter, pick it up, make it clean from this. All right, so let me ask you, Shane. I mean, we've made a little bit of money in our careers. What's the most ridiculous thing you've ever bought?
Oh God. I'm pretty cheap. So I have never bought like a big thing.
You're like, really? I bought a 24-inch turkey sub.
Yeah.
3 a.m. after I got bad news.
Give me all the trimmings. I just shot a half-hour special. Teddy's treating himself. And then it's just me like caressing a party sub in a bathtub for 2 hours. I thought that's a good question, man. I honestly do. Oh, I know what it was. It was a mattress. I spent a lot of money on a mattress.
Nice.
And
we need a sponsor. Which one?
It was Tuft and Needle.
Okay.
But like, here's the, you know, like we're talking about being poor forever, like especially in comedy, doing these kinds of things. You don't like, and I've been talking about this with a lot of people lately for whatever reason, but just like the cheapest option is your only option a lot of the time. So it is your best option. Like, and finally, when you have a little money in your bank account, you're just not used to spending it yet. You know, like, so I was having fucking mad anxiety over what kind of mattress to buy. And like, it was really freaking out because I was like, this is like a big decision, you know, like, and it wasn't like, it's like a $1,500 mattress. You know, it's not like no
that you're
money.
Gonna use every night.
20 years.
Yeah,
20
but
years.
it's also like $1,500 is not an insane amount of money to me anymore. It's like a chunk of money that I don't want to spend a lot of the time. But like, then it was just like, oh my God, I am in a $1,500 mattress. And this, by the way, this was 2 months before COVID hit. And I've had this pretty much the same amount of money for a while and I wasn't spending it. So I think it's a fucking mattress, like, which I don't know if that's lame or not, but
no,
it's not lame.
Huge. Yeah. And sensible. I told my dad, I was like, I'm going to buy like $1,000-something mattress. And he was just like, are you out of your fucking mind? And I went, what is that over 20 years? It's like $1 a month.
Yeah.
For where I sleep for 4 hours a night.
Yeah.
You know, I was like, are you crazy?
It has changed my life.
Yeah, exactly.
The rest is actually good. I have something I like sleeping on because I've had mattresses where were basically just a Kleenex over sprung wires. Like, you know, like, so this is, to me, was like a huge deal. What about you, Josh?
My daughter was conceived on the floor on a good mattress, which shows you that I kept the mattress but had no bed. So there you go.
Dude, you are a music guy.
I am, absolutely.
Yeah.
You asked me, I bought a Rolex after the TV show came out, Submariner, but which was expensive. And then after like 8 months, I sold it and I actually made a profit off of it. Because I was like, I don't want to buy anything because I bought it. I've always wanted a nice watch, but I was like, I got it for the wrong reasons. And I said, I'm never going to do that ever again. I'm never going to buy something to impress people or to show what my stature is. And then January 20
useless.
It is, but then January 2020, I got a Porsche Macan S. But that's the truth of the matter with that is that since I was a little kid, I always said I wanted a Porsche. Always. I still do.
You have a Porsche now?
Yes, I still do. I'm getting rid of it to move here because I just don't need a car, and I'm just gonna buy like a cheap Jeep or something and store that, something that can get beat up. There's a car shortage, so they're like gonna take it back. They're like, yeah, we'll pay you to take it back.
Well, yeah, used cars are super valuable right now.
But I barely drove it. I got it January 2020. I took my mom to Italy in February because she always wanted to go. Dude, 2020 was gonna be an incredible year. Like,
oh, buddy, I had a lot of things cooking.
We all did. Yeah, that's what I'm saying. It's all like we can all like have our horror stories about what we lost. I love that car. I don't want to get rid of it. I just see the sensible action of like, dude, if I bring it here, I have to pay $500 a month to keep it in a garage. I'll barely drive it.
Yeah.
So just buy a cheap car for like a Jeep. I'll get something cool because I can't. This is the thing, guys. And this is what I want everybody to know. Is I remember Matt Masisco, the photographer on the goddamn Comedy Jam. I said, I'm getting a new car. And he's like, what are you going to get? And I'm like, well, I don't know. I mean, I'm thinking about a Cadillac or a Lexus. Go, yeah, you have to get something like that because you can't pull up in a Kia Sophia. You can't with your character and who you are. You know what I mean? It would be so against brand. And listen,
I saw Art Alexakis from Everclear in a Target once.
Yeah.
And it just totally bummed me out. Like,
yeah.
That's like,
it's like,
you're not even that famous, but like just seeing you like getting bread was depressing.
It takes, dude, if I ever saw Slash in like anything other than leather pants, I would be like, is the world coming to an end? What's going on right now? Because why is Slash wearing Lululemon? Like you have characters. Now listen, it's a great car. I just don't need it. I'd keep it if I was staying in LA, but it's pointless. Listen, but now this is the thing is I've learned and I've really learned. It's like, man, and I said it earlier, Time is the most valuable thing in the world. So from this point on, listen, I'm not saying I'm not going to buy a house and I'm probably going to get a Porsche again later in life, but only when it's like, man, I've got so much money put away. It's like worth it and it's smart and it's like, and I can totally afford it, which will be in a couple of years.
And you are allowed to treat yourself.
For sure.
Like, you are. But there's a foolish way to spend money.
It's like ordering Postmates every day. Like the people that order Postmates every day I'm like, you just spent an extra $20 on top of the $30 that you spent on the food. It's like cook your own meals. Like
what are you doing in the 40 minutes that meal is not there?
Right.
I'll tell you what you're doing. You're rewatching Ted Lasso or whatever,
Right.
Well, that's what I'm doing.
That's what you're doing right now.
I have a kid that's teaching that. That's a huge, you guys have really hit on that, which is, and for people listening is, all that convenience, when you're paying for convenience and you're paying somebody else to basically do the thing you're doing for you, man, I look at people like that. And the people that really figured this out are the people that just go, hey, listen, I'm eating food. I can go to Trader Joe's. I can load up my refrigerator. And then in the meantime, it's all here. There's no time between me doing that. I'm not waiting around. I'm not paying somebody else to basically go pick me up drive-through. Are you kidding?
Well,
premium.
Morty, what's funny is I've had a lot of the bigger comics that I'm like on, that I hang out with here in New York, and they're like, well, hurry up and get here. And I'm like, all right, well, I'm going to jump on the train. You're taking the train? Yeah, dude, because Ubers are $70 right now.
Yeah.
And I'm like, I could take the train and it might be an extra 15 minutes late, but I could give a fuck. Like,
and also, what am I doing? I'm going to bed.
Yeah.
Like I get, like if I'm so tired, I just don't want to fuck with anything. That's one thing. But like, people spend money on Ubers. Like it's fucking wild there, dude.
Bro, Shane, like I love the train. It's very romantic to me, especially because I'm newer to New York, And yes, last night I made eye contact with a guy masturbating, and it was just me and him on the train together. But you know what?
How did it feel?
I just looked right at him and I went, oh.
Happy place. All
right, what do we got,
Morty? I'm going to skip the next one that kind of hit on that. So this one is, despite the popularity of many of their songs, their one and only UK number one was the official 1990 England World Cup song, World in Motion. So they released it under the name England New Order, and it was a rewrite of a theme that Gillian wrote for a kids' news program, and it featured several members of the 1990 English football team. That's soccer for those of you that are ugly Americans, and as well as comic actor Keith Allen, who, if you know Lily Allen,
I saw her live. I saw her live.
pop.
Her first performance in America was at the 930 Club, if I'm not mistaken.
Oh, really?
And
that record was great.
And I was working for Channel 1 News. Big shout out to Channel 1 News. If you're a Crab Feast fan, you know all about it. It's the only channel, first channel on the dial, y'all.
Hey, play it.
And what was funny was I used to get free tickets, and they wanted me to play her music on the show, and so I went to go see her, and that song "Smile" was so huge.
Oh
man.
London. That whole record
it was her, but you guys remember, not to get us. I'm loving this conversation today, guys. It was like her and Amy Winehouse had like a beef, and they tried to and they were so different. They were so different. And one, no one fucking remembers. The other one is an icon until music is dead and gone when we destroy this planet in 50 years. It is like Amy Winehouse. It's like, why would you even try to fight them? Why? Because they're both British and women. That's why.
Yeah. By the way, you'd love Keith Allen if you guys know anything about British humor. He was like in the Young Ones camp of like the comic strip, those guys. Yeah. But also he has there's some new shows that are really great with him on it also.
Nice. My mom probably watches them.
By the way, he was like a punk rock comic. He came up like opening for like the Clash and stuff. So he's got some pretty rad. He's got some pretty rad
cool stories.
Let's get him on. Let's get him on. Should we get him on the podcast?
There's a I forgot the name of the show. There's another on Netflix that was recently about that he did it where he's the dad, because now he's that age where he's like the disapproving dad. But you've seen him in a bunch of shit and you'll be like, that's her dad?
Pull him up. Adam, pull up a picture of Keith Allen while we
let me go for this. So Gillian took a break from touring in 1998 to take care of her and, as I said, Stephen Morris's kids, because they're a couple. She still played on the 2001 album Get Ready. Then after then she was on a 10-year break from the band until 2011, and then she came back to join the band again. They got forgot his name, Cunningham, but because he's not on any of this album, it wasn't as important. Yeah, Richie Cunningham. It was their brother. It was Chip, whatever his name is, who walked upstairs with the basketball and never came down.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Right.
Let's see. You'll look at this dude and you'll be like, I know that guy.
Keith Allen. Full screen it, baby. Full screen that shit. There it is. Here we come. Hold on.
Oh,
what has he been in?
Oh God. He was on a bunch of shit. He's in Train Spotting.
Yes, he was. Hold on.
He's a dealer in Train Spotting, and
is he? Hold on. Is he the Mother Superior in Train Spotting? Hold on. I'll find out right now as we speak, because I am so interested, and I think there's people.
I gotta remember the name of I just watched a show with him. I'm gonna remember it in a second. I just watched a show with him that was like, I think 2 or 3 seasons, a comedy.
I mean, he's on the most British show of all time called The Pembrokeshire Murders. Ooh, a Dublin do.
That's also what they used to call the Holocaust. Prostitution ring.
All right. And we're
and the big blitz. I can say this because I'm Jewish and a hooker.
Oh, okay. I mean, that's true. He gives you the five.
That's
Morty's
why the
great
mattress
at
is on the floor.
This is actually a true thing. There was a prostitute during the prostitute stripper during the 2008 financial crisis, and she was like still making money. I was like, how you getting all these lap dances and the world's falling apart? She's like, I give them the $5 special. I was like, what is that? She's like, that's where I eat some hot chili Fritos and I just breathe on the dick. I was like, okay.
Wow.
He played.
We really are all over the map today of like New Order and hot chili Frito blowjobs.
Could not be happier. Yeah, I'm looking at his thing. I recognize some of the stuff, but big ups to Keith.
Yeah, he's right.
All right. Is that it?
I'll hit you with the last one here. Oh, sorry. Go on.
Well, because I was just about to jump in and do the thing. Are we done with the facts?
Yeah, I've got the last one, which I think is great. Although Peter Hook, we say he effectively quit the band in 2007 and opted out of their 2011 reunion. He exchanged, if you guys know anything about British press, he and Bernard sort of hate each other. And there's a big thing in the press of them going back and forth about all of this. He also sued them over royalties. He did say last year that he was open to a reconciliation to celebrate their career-defining album, 1983's Power, Corruption, and Lies. And we've said it before, the Replacements, Guns N' Roses, you know, that it could happen.
But Morty,
they're playing the Garden later this year, but I don't know.
But I was going to say, didn't New Order play Coachella?
Yeah, but I don't think Hooky hasn't been playing.
It's not the lineup.
Yeah, it's the guys that like they have somebody else playing them, but it was the guy that came into the band when Jillian left. I forgot his name. It's not Peter Cunningham. Maybe it is, but or Stephen Cunningham. But it's that lineup with whoever they have. But yeah, Hook hasn't been in. He hasn't been in a while.
Okay. All right. Well, that's good to know. If I'm out here, I'm gonna go see him at the Garden. Dude, you know what, Shane? Let's go.
Sounds great.
I'd love to. Let's do it.
All right. Yeah.
All right. Speed round questions. Here we go. Favorite song on the record?
Me?
Yes. No.
I don't know.
My producer, you idiot.
No fucking start. You've been in New York for 2 weeks and already you're a real prick.
This fucking guy.
Heavy Ceremony. Yeah.
Ceremony. All right. Least favorite song on the record?
Oh God. I like Love Triangle, but I don't know if I have a least favorite. I haven't really thought about it that way, but like of the hits, I think Love Triangle might be the one I don't play the most. I would say it's the one I don't play the most.
Okay. Yeah. What song on this record would you fuck to?
I think it's So Funny If You Fuck to Blue Monday.
Nice.
Yeah, like I think it's just like bam, bam, because it's very like
yeah.
This is the Ford Assembly line of fucking. There's not going to be a lot of like detail going into. I'm just hammering a nail. I'm hammering a nail. I'm hammering a nail, and then I'm a union man. I'm a union man.
All right. This is a big question. This is a big one. Joy Division or New Order?
For me, it's definitely New Order.
Okay.
I don't really know enough about the Joy Division stuff to like be in love with. I mean, I like what I hear, but yeah, yeah. What about you?
I'm same New Order. But literally, the only song I know is Love Will Tear Us Apart.
Yeah, listen to Digital. That's my favorite. Digital's rad.
But also the length. I mean, like it's almost like two different things because like there's such a body of work in New Order.
Yes.
Yeah.
you have an ocean to swim in as opposed to a kiddie pool.
For sure. And final song, does this record deserve to be on the 500 greatest albums list?
I would think so, for sure. Like, what do you pull off of it?
I would do Power, Corruption, and Lies. I hate when they do compilations.
Yeah,
I like where their heads are at. I like knowing, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like I want to know where your head's at that moment.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? I like knowing like what went into that record. And then we also find these weird tracks we'd never heard of, you know, because they don't play everything. We only know the singles. So it's like putting all the singles on here. I'm like, that's a hit. That's it. Like with Josh and I talked, we're like, Jesus Christ. This is like 10 songs in a row where everything's a fucking hit.
Yeah, I know. It's crazy. Like I saw Elton John. It was the same fucking thing.
Yeah.
I
wrote. And then
And I was like, well, what's he going to play now? And then he did the Lion King encore. And I was like, oh, shit.
Yeah.
I was like, he did do that.
I agree with Morty. You know, we've talked about this a lot. Like I remember the first one was Loretta Lynn, where that was our first record. That was
Merle Haggard. It was just like a pain in the ass.
It was everything. It's too much. It's like I get why they put it on the list. We're gonna respect the list. As I always said back at the Pig and Whistle open mic sign up days, honor the list. But the key is that it's still, you know, as long as the other records aren't on here, because that's the thing is I always say, if you're going to get the greatest hits, then you can't put the other records. Do you know what I mean? I always think that's the way it should be. But
yeah, that's a fair thing. That's like we cloned Shaq. Here he is again.
Yeah. Well, the thing is, like, you guys, like everyone, you go, what's your favorite Bob Marley album? They go, Legend. And I go, no. You're taking a career retrospective of like the one greatest artist of all time. And you're going, oh yeah, all this shit just happened at the same time. You're like, no, he lived here and then he did this song and then he lived here and then this happened. Then he shot, you know, and that's why these things are like, I don't need a career retrospective of Merle Haggard as that's not picking an album by him.
Yeah,
that's his entire career.
That's like going to your friend's house, flipping through their CD case, and it's nothing but greatest hits albums.
Yeah.
And you're like, oh, you don't actually like music.
Yeah, what's your favorite Beatle album? They go the Blue album. You're like, no.
Like it's like that's not how that goes.
Yeah. Anyway, that's where
be invested to some degree.
And listen, I haven't listened to a New Order record that's a singular, you know, creative thought process where they put it all down and they worked on it. But man, this was fun. This was a record that I know me and Morty were excited about. We talked about what songs we were going to do.
And we're sorry for everyone for missing your favorite.
Listen, if you got any complaints, just tweet it, Morty.
We know it.
Tweet it, Morty. Tell us what songs we should have done. We're not doing every track from this point on.
And leave me the fuck out of it.
Exactly. Don't be talking about Farfisa to Shane. He doesn't
reach out to it's Adam Bernard at gmail.com. I don't even know if that's your email, Adam. I have no idea, but probably is.
No,
not far
not
off.
It's Adam Bernard 1.
Yeah, of course it is. Of course it is. Password's like, you know,
password.
Yeah. Shane, this really was a lot of fun, man.
It's nice to this is blast. I'm glad we got to do it.
So am I. I really am. Promote away, whatever you got to promote.
I'll be at Savage Henry Comedy Club in July in Northern California. I'll be at Moontower in September in Austin, Texas. And ShaneIsAComedian.com. Instagram is at Syrup Mountain. And I got a forthcoming podcast with Kyle Kinane, so keep an eye out for it. Just follow me. I post stuff coming. Yeah. And then when does this come out?
It comes out this Wednesday.
Okay. I have Good God every other week in Brooklyn. So come check that show out too. It's a live show.
Oh, that's great. That's great. You know, I'm available.
Yeah. And I don't think you want to do that kind of commute coming from the neighborhood you're in. Oh, come on. A little there's undesirables in my neighborhood, Josh.
Bring his Porsche.
Yeah. You bring your Porsche. Yeah.
Dude, I've done tiny cupboard in Bushwick. I can travel, bro.
Oh, okay. That's like 2 minutes from my apartment. We're living in completely different worlds.
Completely. But, you know.
That's fine. I
know. Josh will drive.
I still
what if I just been like, I'll keep that in mind. And then
listen, bro. You know, we might live in two different worlds, but I'll still take down a fucking Italian meatball hoagie just as fast as you, bro.
I'll tell you this right now. You have no idea what you're trying to bite off right now when you say things like that to me.
That I would pay for. I'll pay for.
You're going to talk to me about sandwiches? You're talking to me about sandwiches?
For the Patreon, I'm going to have you and I do an eat off.
Oh, All right, yeah, I'll do it.
I'll cover it. We'll figure it out.
You can. Yeah.
Morty, what do you got?
Okay, I'm DJ Morty Coyle on Twitter. You can see me and my daughter and I singing on me and my daughter. I don't know how the fuck I've corrected too many people on Facebook. I'm on Instagram as B and Daddy Cartoons with there. Thank you everybody who's been reposting and everything like that. Tuesday nights with Fokker Force 5 on Facebook Live. We do all kinds of music live for you guys for 3 hours. All the stuff's up there. We just want to make people happy while you're staying at home. Stay safe, get vaccinated, wear your masks. Still, don't trust anybody because dudes masturbate across from you on trains. So they're not thinking about wearing a mask. And I want to give a shout out to Mudsy Bogues, who is JMud403 on Twitter. Now, he's somebody who's one of the Twitter. I'm going to call him a Fleece Army member, even if he doesn't want it, because it's mandatory conscription. Because he wrote in after one of the episodes and he wasn't happy, but he explained afterward and he apologized. But more than anything, we do see what you're saying. We try to make the show as great as we can and still hit all our bases. But I respect the fact that he said how he felt about it. We responded to it.
What did he say?
He's the one that was like, he was a bit upset, I think, about the Shane episode of Rage, because I think he was really like, it's a rage and it's got to be more about the thing. Here's the thing.
His name is Muggsy. It's Mudsy Bogues?
Mudsy with a D.
Oh,
but he goes, it's JMud403. Regardless, if you never follow, you never listen, just to let you guys know, you guys that are active on Twitter and everything, we have great Paggy and all these people. We go back and forth. But part of the Fleece Army and everything is really the response we get from you guys is very heartening to hear that you guys are following the episodes, even enough to say what you don't like, because we respect that. I respect you listening to an episode and saying, do more of this, less Morty, whatever. I'm totally cool with it.
That's very valuable.
Because it shows that you're listening. Yeah.
Yeah.
And we try and we respond. I mean, we don't respond immediately and be like, Mudsy didn't like that, so from now on we don't do it anymore. Yeah. But more than anything, we do this weekly. This is a grind. We flip these shows
also
weekly.
It's free, right?
Yes,
absolutely.
Unless you're paying for the Patreon, Mudsy, go fuck yourself.
Yeah.
I'm sorry. I don't give a shit, dude. I'm not. I keep saying this, Shane. I am not a music critic. I am a comic. Rolling Stone didn't choose me to do this. I chose to do this to honor my dead friend, Angelo Bauer's funniest guy I ever met in my life. He knew music. He made fun of me. Morty came on because he was a fan, and then he started helping write the show, and then he became the main writer, and then we brought him on to explain fucking Brian Wilson, and we can't get rid of him. He's just here, and we love it. But it's the high fidelity. We're just having fun, man. And it's like these people need to realize, if you want the other shit, listen to Gladwell, listen to Matt Pinfield. I'm not Matt Pinfield. Morty's not Matt Pinfield. Morty is a music fan, and he's one of my best friends. And we're just, but you're a musician, but still, it's we're just trying to have fun. And listen, I respect all your criticisms, people. I really do. But just know that
it's all Adam's fault.
It's all Adam's fault.
And here's his email. Write him.
I think
at quiet producer 43.
He does like his bacon. He misses his bacon egg bagel.
Yeah.
I'll never.
Why did you smear this all over your fucking face?
That's contribution, man.
No, but we love you guys. We really do love you. And Shane, I love you too, man. This was a lot of fun, dude.
It was a lot of fun,
really good time.
Yeah, this is great. Thanks for reaching out, buddy. It's fun. We finally got to do this stuff.
You got it.